Hi there guys, I'm Lawrence. Just going to give you a run through on how to make a tyre in Maya using Mesh. So what we'll do, I've just got it here, I've just modelled a plane. Basically I just got a plane, shrunk it down and then extruded it out, added in some edge loops and deleted all the extra faces, so that way all we've got is these little guys sticking out here. Now that we've got that, we can hide this, select this. Easy, right click face, select all, and Control E, translate 0.05, pretty simple. Then now we've got that, so we click off, Control Z to reselect again, and then Shift and then the greater than symbol will grow the selection. You can also go Control, right click and then grow there, that'll do the exact same thing. Now we've got that, Control Shift I to inverse and delete. Change the vertex, select a vertex, then Shift, right click, merge target weld. Pretty easy, just weld all of these, because this is a bit corner of your tyre tread. Now that we've got that, so we've got it all selected, space, mesh display, soften hard edges. This will soften and harden the edges. Depending on how you did it, you might get some differences here. It's pretty simple, you can just select space, mesh display, and then harden that edge. Now that you've got that, so go to the object, actually we'll be going to edge mode, space, select, use constraints. Oopsie daisies, use constraints. Then you want to, so because you're in edge mode, you can then select all and next and make sure it's on hard, and that'll select all the hard edges. Shift, right click, bevel. Simple as that. Then close and reset to get rid of the edge selection thing. We'll grab that, we'll just make that a little bit neater. Control Shift. So Control Shift will slide it. Well, without doing that, it'll just it'll scale it incorrectly. So just Control Shift, move it across. Control Shift, move it across. Just fix this up. Just make it a little bit easier. It'll make it that it requires less effort in the future. There we got that. We're going to go to the front view, change the vertex, and then we'll just select these guys. Make sure they're perfect. They're all good. You can do this after, but this just saves you now, not having to worry about it. Perfect. Then Alt Shift D will delete all of that information. So we've got our little bit of tyre tread there, pretty simple. Change it back to 1 to lower the stress on the CPU. So space, create, cylinder, T, change this number to something like 50. Then J to make sure it snap rotates. And we'll increase the size of this. Doesn't have to be bang on, I think that'll do. And Control Shift X, middle mouse click, and that'll get you an edge loop in the center. Double click that edge loop, space, modify, convert, polygon edge to curve. Then what we'll do, I'll select it, Alt Shift D, because we don't need it anymore. Delete the old one, and there we go. So it's nice, the origin's at the center here, so if we do have to change the size of it afterwards, we can. So what we'll do, we'll select the tread now, space, mesh, create mesh network, and that's created it here. Space, mesh editor, and then that brings it up here, so it's a little bit easier to work with. And what we'll do, we'll open up the outliner, we'll go here, add a curve, and then drag the curve that we've created across, and that'll duplicate it along the curve like this. Then now that we've got that, we're going to select this guy, unhide him, change you to ignore step, so that means that it just converts the, so without ignore step, it picks up this, so it'll only be 0.1% of the whole circle, and then you can move it across the circle however you want. 1 would be the whole circle, or you can just hit the ignore step and it does the same thing, and it just ignores this number and just completely fills up the whatever curve you've got. So now that we've got that, we've got this guy selected, rotate you there, and then rotate you around there. Pretty simple. Just going to move you out of the way so it's a little easier to see. So it's pretty happy. We've got it nice and straight, we do. Change to distribute. Let's try 40. Change this instance, so click on this guy and switch the mesh geometry type, or change it to a mesh, which allows you to smooth it like a normal mesh. It's treated as if it's a normal mesh. So now that we've got that, we can start to mess with this guy. So we'll select the original tread, so I'll just rename this original tread just to make life a little easier. Then we go space, deform, non-linear, bend, hit the T key, give it a bend so that way we have something to work with. Then we'll rotate it around. So you can see this has caused it to curve around on there. We don't need it to curve around that much. We just want to give it a very subtle curve. That's all good. I'm going to lower this just a bit, just to make it easier to work with. Select this guy again, deform, non-linear, bend, give it a curve again. Curve it around there, and then that'll deform it so that way it starts to bend a little bit there. And look at that, I think I got that pretty bang on first try. But what you would do, it's not perfect, but what you would do is you'd then select that guy, the T key, and you move it to wherever you need it. So that looks pretty good on that side. It's probably going to mess it up there, yeah. So doesn't really matter too much. You just want it to sort of be nice. Probably just move it just a bit. Let's do that. That'll do. Perfecto. So now that we've got that, we're going to duplicate, select all of these, and hide them all, because we don't need it anymore. It's pretty simple. Now that we've got that, we'll click it, change to face mode, select them all, control right click, go to vertices perimeter. That'll then select all the outside vertices. So shift, right click, merge vertices, and then put this number up. Maybe not that high, still not that high. There we go, that looks pretty good. And so that has pushed it so that way all of these guys are all nicely merged. Now that we've got that, just go to the front view. I will select all of these, scale it in, and then move it across. Select all of these guys, scale it in, and move it across. That just brings it up nice and close there, makes it a little more realistic. We'll select that, scale it flat, just do this for everything. If you do need to get rid of the gizmo, you just hit the Q key, because sometimes it gets in the way. Perfect, so now they're all nice and smooth. We've got that guy here, so we'll double click to select him, double click to select him, shift, right click, bridge. And what we're going to do, we're just going to twist it till the edge flows nicely. Select, Alt Shift D to delete that history. Then we're going to do the exact same thing here again. Select, just hit G because it's just going to repeat the last command, which was to bridge it, which is all good now. So now that we've got that, we'll do the last one. Select, select, G. And then Alt Shift D to delete all the old information. So now we've got that there. It's pretty good. We're going to change to the front view. We're going to here turn the image plane back on. We'll actually select the image plane and just increase this a little bit so it's a little easier for us to see. Then I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to Control Shift X and hit 1 to stop it from trying to subdivide. We're going to first go through here, just add in some supporting loops in between the tree. There we go. So now when we hit 3, it's all nicer and smoother. We'll then click it again, and we're going to add in the tread. Perfect. Now we select face, select, 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 spacebar, perspective view, Control E. We'll translate this 0.05 because that's what the size we did before. It's nice and smooth. And Shift, right click, bevel. There you go. Now I've got a tyre with some tread. Now that you've got that, you can select you, and select you, Control E. So it's a bit laggy, my computer's just a little bit slow when I'm recording. So extrude that out, extrude again, extrude again, now that we've got that, Alt Shift D to delete the history. We've got a tyre. It's pretty simple. Now that you've got that, you can go through and you can fix it up and make it just that little bit nicer, like selecting all of that. It's probably a little too overinflated. There we go, just give it a little bit of a bend to it. Select you there. Select you there. The middle mouse drag. Drag that out, there you go. Not bang on, but obviously you can go through and you can spend quite a bit more time on it from the get-go. The biggest thing is using reference. So normally what I would do is I wouldn't just have this picture here, I would also have a picture of a tyre with a certain profile that's actually got there. That's what this one was, but I've shrunk it down so that was nice and simple. But now that you've got that, select here, Alt Shift D, and you have a nice tyre. So when you smooth, it's all connected well. You've got all your nice edges. Very, very easy. And then you can do stuff like you can go through and you can add in any UV and all that sort of stuff, and then get it ready to go. And then when you're modelling it, so if we hide that, we bring all of this back again. So one of the big things is, if we go here, top view, go grab, actually make sure, maybe left view. So if we go here, shrink that in. Ooh, selected the wrong one. That one. Drag you in there. Drag you up there. Something like that. You can go through and you can make it so that it's got more of a curve to it. And then all you would do, deform, non-linear, bend. It's fighting me. Tie away. So you bend it that way. Drag this guy back in. Drag that in there. What you might do, Control A. So the Y on this one is -0.5. Select this guy, 0.5. That way they're both deforming at the same point on it. As you remember this, then this should be the very edge and that should be the very edge, so this should be bang on in the center between them. And then also if we select this guy, change it to -100. Let's go here, then there, -100, and we'll select you to 100, and then that way it's all both nice and even across the whole thing. And then when you have a look here, you've got that nice curve in it from before. But what you would have to do too is you'd have to then go through and figure out exactly where you need to have this supporting bend to get it to all line up nicely. So see, as you twist it up and down, it'll close and open those guys there. It's only twisting left and right will affect one side more than the other. So it's a balancing act of that if you want to go into a greater detail, trying to figure it all out. I probably wouldn't have this quite so strong, maybe -80. There you go, so it's just not affecting them as much. And you go through and you do the same thing. When you have this guy here, you can select these guys, shift, right click, go circularize. That'll make sure it's a perfect circle. right click, 2 edges perimeter, circularize. And then you might just bring that in a bit. And you go through and you can totally mess with it quite a bit more. But it gives you a good idea of how to get something that you can then use in the future. So hopefully that has helped somebody out there. Yeah, and if there's any questions or anything, you can leave it in the comments or send me an email or anything like that, and I'll happily be able to answer it. Okie dokie. Adios.